Yo, what's up? My thing is, things are different now. Life has changed. The world has changed. There's so many things that we go through. But as we sit up there and deal with the part of life that is supposed to be something great, a lot of shit's getting worse. I don't even understand how life is supposed to be this way. You got shit with R. Kelly. You got shit with every damn black celebrity who's ever made a mark, and everybody else is just falling to the wayside. I don't get it. I don't get the whole point of everything happening. You know, R. Kelly got the child molestation charges. We knew he was a pedophile. G-Back. Everybody knew. Everybody saw the tape. And the people that didn't see the tape, once you heard about it, if any of those parents who came forward heard about the tape, if it was me, I would never let my daughter even play that role. Just saying. Now, how I look at everything is life is life. Everybody say the world comes in. We don't know nothing. Shit is happening though. I mean, a lot of shit is happening. There's storms and all this other bullshit, but you don't know anything that's going on that could be a problem for anybody other than what celebrities do. Who's this person? Who did that? You come at Michael Jackson, he's dead. He can't even defend himself. Not saying it's a lie. Not saying it's the truth. All I'm saying is if I'm not there to say nothing, I can't see how you could put that and say, oh, that's the truth. One-sided documentaries, you're supposed to get both sides. And if you can't have both sides, it's not really a point of giving information. All sitting up here looking at ourselves, choosing sides and stuff like that. And you got the homo stuff, transgender, the LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it. To me, everything is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Everything is crazy. Everything is crazy. The whole gambit. The whole earth. There's too much stuff going on to be worrying about celebrities for one thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why this is even happening. Life is life. Some of this stuff is not, actually, all of it is not even old. I mean, not new. It's old. It's just been around. The LGBT community be fighting. They trying to fight for their rights, but Roman times, they were respected. It was actually, if you look it up, it was actually a rite of passage for a young boy to become an older man's beau, if you want to call beau, you know, like older man's girlfriend, boyfriend, however you want to say it. So, on that note, that LGBT stuff is like, y'all never really was taken away from nothing. Now, America didn't accept you in the way back times, 40s, 50s, 60s, but there were people who were still accepted. You know, I'm just trying to look at everything like, yo, what's the point? You want me to believe Caitlyn Jenner's a woman, but just like you say, well, Bruce, who is now Caitlyn, if a black person comes and says, I think I'm white, you look at them like they're crazy. But you want me to accept that a man who was born a man is a woman now because he chose to be. You don't see how one-sided that is? Like, that don't even make sense, man. I'm trying to understand the life that everybody's trying to give to everybody else. In the hood, people still die. Ain't too much going on that's really helping them. There's not that much relief. Obama was president. Everybody was like, oh, it's a black president, but not much has changed. Even when he was in office, all the cops killing black people, not just black men, black women too, young teenagers. It's just like, man, there's too much in this world to be worrying about these celebrities. I'm just saying that. They gotta fall on their own sword on that. They gotta face. They have to face their own reality of what they're doing. What they doing to R. Kelly? Hey, it was time, but how they doing it is scandalous. You know what I'm saying? You mean to tell me you had videotape of him? It showed his face. We all, most of us, seen the tape way back. You showed his face. And the only reason he didn't go to jail back then was because the girl who they said was on the tape said it wasn't her and her family said it wasn't her. If you was to do a crime on tape and you said that wasn't me and they looking and say it looks like you, more than likely you're going down. Reality. That's reality bites. You can't say it ain't me and get off. So I look at it, all this shit is bullshit, man. All this shit does not make sense. You come in that shit, you distracting people from what's really going on. All about the Justice Smollett and all. I don't give a damn about that, man. First of all, if you were stupid enough to do that, all the gay people are defending them now. You know, they're like defending them. But if he was stupid enough to do that, why? I know he wanted more money, but you weren't broke. There's people out here, what you made an episode don't even make a year. A year. You made that an episode. You wanted to be the $1 million king? Well, what you willing to do to get it? You're willing to do that dumb shit. It all came back. There's no way around it. You can't change what you do once you do it. There's consequences and repercussions to everything. So once you go out there and make these moves, don't get mad when the shit comes back on you. Anybody. And that's for any situation. If you got a job, you got a job that is actually trying to get you fired because if you standing up for another worker, trust me, whether you stay there 5, 10, 20 years and make it and stay on pins and needles, eventually the ball gonna drop. They're gonna find a way, man. And that's why it's like, why do you even work for people? These jobs aren't even paying enough out here for you to survive. You're not even making enough to have your own place in a car. I think people at McDonald's should get enough money for that. Yeah, I bet you if you paid them more, they'll take more pride in their job because they're getting paid enough to do this. And if they don't, they're fucking stupid. If you pay me enough at McDonald's, where I can get a house, a car, or apartment, however it go, but a car too, and I'm not trying to do the best of my ability at that point, I'm not saying you gotta have a Lexus. If you want more, go for more. Go and gain that success in your life. And that's straight up. Not everybody has everything given to them. Straight up. Not everybody has everything given to them. Not everybody gets what they want. Not everybody goes where they want to go. And there's some people who walk through life getting everything. If you've never been poor, you ain't worried about poorness. Notice these rich white kids, black kids, people with money. If you ain't never had nothing, you worrying about getting something. But if you have everything, the next thing plays is your feelings. That's why some of these guys commit suicide. These girls commit suicide with money. Because they're like, I don't give a damn about the money. I got the money. My parents got the money. But I'm willing to kill myself because guess what? I don't have a person who loves me in my life. So problems is problems. First of all, you shouldn't even give a damn about money. I'm not saying you can't be successful. I'm not saying you can't try to get it. I'm just saying it's not worth the paper that it's printed on. Straight up. Not worth the paper that it's printed on. It's worthless. You fighting for an imaginary number. Jay-Z, Beyonce, P. Diddy, they have imaginary wealth. Straight up. In this world, it means something, but it's just a piece of paper. And guess what? If they wanted to, they'd take it all away. Somehow. Some will drop. Stock will drop, whatever. Somehow it will be gone. It's ridiculous that people are going through the shit not even thinking about it. It's common sense. Use your head. The money ain't worth the shit that it's printed on. It's not worth the paper it's printed on. And then when it comes down to it, eventually when the future comes and there won't be any dollars and cents, but you're going to have a fucking card with your name on it that values all your wealth. You use it anywhere. It's going to be hard for people to counterfeit shit because they're going to have to find it. And eventually that's going to be impossible. If you look at all the crime cameras going on in people's hoods all over the country, right now they got the little camera with the light. They had that for years. Some people are just getting it now, some cities. And the light comes on, they say they see you, the light's off. If you believe that shit is off, you crazy. And then it's going to be that one day where that camera is going to be on a little stick, little plastic stick with a little hole in it. And you thinking, oh, they took the cameras down and they're going to fucking take everybody. Don't do crime. I mean, ain't nothing left. Ain't shit out there. Ain't nothing left of it. I'm not saying you got to work at McDonald's, but there's nothing else left. You can't go back to the olden times where you could make money. First of all, the crack era was fucking ridiculous. It was. It really was. Those dudes made money in a short amount of time, but after, 5 years, 2, 3 years, the money decreased. Now you got drug dealers who's barely making $20,000 a year jobs, as far as a ratio of how much money that they accumulate. They might get 20,000 a month, 10,000 a month. That's no money. That's money to you if you ain't ever had none, but that's no money. You're not Scarfacing. And I hate the fact when people in the hood selling a little bit and acting like Scarface. I'm like, bro, you ain't even at the level. You actually be happy I'm buying shit from you if you're a person who buys drugs. You should be happy they buying shit from you. Because there is a stigma. If you act like Scarface too much, nigga, and you ain't on Scarface level, person, not nigga, I'm sorry I said nigga, but you know what I mean, person, then guess what? The motherfuckers will stop fucking with you. You ain't the only game around. I have to fuck with you. I have to even accept you. I go somewhere else. So when you look at everything that's happening and all this shit that's going on, it's a major distraction. This shit ain't important. The Oscars, oh no, that's just bullshit. You're forgetting the world. Social media, everybody's on social media. It's all grand. It's in its early days, mid days, however you want to call it. But there'll be something else. Maybe not the same social media sites, but social media is probably going to be here for a while or forever. There's going to be something else that's going to take your time. Eventually, Instagram is going to fall. Eventually, Twitter is going to fall. Eventually, shit, it's possible for Google as a company to fall. And there's a new search angle. It might be Google. You know what I'm saying? So none of this shit matters, man. None of this shit matters. Life is the way it is, and you can't change it. You can change what you do, but you can't change life. You can always change what you do. You don't have to get into shit that you don't need to get into. Straight up. You don't have to get into shit you don't need to get into. Life is what it is. Life. And for anybody who has to go through anything in life, it's fucked up, but you have to find a way to keep going. A lot of y'all people saying y'all worrying about going to heaven. But guess what? You're on the earth right now. Heaven is out there if it exists. I can't say it doesn't, and I can't say it does because I've never been there. I've never been to hell, but I know what life being like hell is, and I know what life being like heaven is. Maybe your heaven is what you're on right now. Those years or days or months or even seconds of happiness is like heaven. And those years, days or months, even seconds of destruction is like hell, of problems. So destruction to your soul. So when you sit up there and look at yourself and don't think about all this other bullshit, you got to deal with your life. You got to deal with your life as a human being. You have to deal with the shit that you have to go through. And I just don't see the point in other than thinking about that than going anywhere else. It's just like, man, come on, man. We've been sitting here on this earth for as long as time forgot. They called us slaves when actual reality, I believe most of us was already here because it's a lot of debatable shit with that because how are you going to put 30 million people on ships and travel months, even if every ship had 10,000? Let's just say 1,000 people. You know how much food and water you need to stock up just to feed 1,000 people? And then I got to feed my crew. I can give them dog shit, but my crew got to eat to keep their strength up. It doesn't even make sense. They hit us with roots and wanted us to believe the white man somehow, oh, we the strongest, which we are strong people. But I'm saying human life, you can't take somebody and bring them 8 months to, I don't know how long it is, but it's more than 3 months, and not have no resources or enough resources to keep them alive. Everybody would die. Or they'd be sick and on their deathbed. And back then, we know the medical system wasn't good enough. They was going to die anyway. So let's just be real. We're already here. Most of us. Not saying the slave trade didn't exist. I'm just saying they wasn't bringing no 1,000, 10,000, 30,000 slaves on a ship. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Straight up. Not happening. It doesn't exist, man. A lot of these shit you want to believe, you're only taking advice from a person who told you because they got told or found out from somebody else. If you really want to look at the real, none of us know how history exactly was. None of us. We don't know exactly how it was. We follow the books of our ancestors. So you don't know exactly how all this shit went. You don't. You can only take the word of the people that came before you. Let me make a good example. 9/11. They have these kids going to school now, from what I heard, They not bringing up the, see, like if you want to do history for children, if you brought up all points, that's teaching them something. They're not bringing up the fact that people say something was wrong, like this was a false flag operation. You know what that is, where it was a fake attack, but it was a real attack, but somebody faked to make someone else look like they did it. They're not even saying about the false flag. They're not saying that this shit didn't seem right. They're just saying Osama bin Laden blew up the towers, not giving the whole history. So right now, if I had kids and they went to school, when they learned about that, I could tell them everything. But if they don't retain that information, when they have kids, oh, 9/11 was Osama bin Laden. There was no other problem. That's how it went. This is what we accept. See what I'm saying? So all this shit is crazy, man. All this shit is a different way of looking at things. All of it's crazy. All of it's crazy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense, and it's a whole thing to look at the whole scope of life. You have to look at the whole scope of life. You have to look at everything you've been through, everything the world has done that you know of in your time, because you are the info box, nobody else. And like some people would say, my own people, believe nothing you hear and very little that you see. So whatever you see is not always the way it is. And I'll give you an example. You know how some people will pull the N-word, if you want to call it that, or they call you a nigga under their breath, and you're a black person, you click out on them. And then everybody around didn't hear that person come up with that smart-ass comment calling you a nigga. You going crazy. It's been there. You going crazy. You know what, everybody in the room looking at you like, what the fuck is wrong with that person? They set you up. It's a setup, man. You think they really gonna yell out, all of y'all the niggas? Hell no. I'm gonna say it under my breath and hope one nigga heard me. When he go off, everybody's gonna be looking at him. It's World Star. I don't know what the fuck to tell you, but that's how a lot of shit's happen. I mean, everybody gotta pay the piper, man. Everybody gotta pay the piper, bro. Everybody. Everybody has to pay the piper. Straight up. Everybody. When you get into things that you're not supposed to get into, things happen and things come back. You can't change that. There's no root of looking at nothing. Can't change it. Can't change it. Can't separate it. It is what it is. And that's life. All these young black people getting killed by police, that's nothing new. It's just not everybody can tape it. And then they're showing you they're not trying to change it. So who do you respect? I mean, it is what it is, man. They worry more about Caitlyn Jenner, which is Bruce. I'm calling him Caitlyn because that's the name he has now, but I know him as Bruce, of his history. He was an Olympian, all that shit. But that's more important than people dying. And I'm just talking about black people dying all the fucking world. Nothing new. And I'm trying to figure out these numbers because they be like 100,000 people died in Iraq today. I sit up there and think about this shit. There's 6 billion people on the earth, and if 100,000 dies in a day, there must have a hell of a lot of babies being born to add to that total. If 100,000 people got murked, how the hell do you beat that with just births? So that means babies must be popping out like fucking wildfire. You know, population control, all this shit. They're trying to get you to sterilize yourself, use condoms, which nothing's wrong with that if you're not ready for children. If you're not ready. You're not ready for kids. Nothing wrong with that. Just saying. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that at all. If you're not ready for kids, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being in a situation where you feel like, yo, I'm not ready to be a father or mother, but I would rather you give your kid up for adoption. I'm not this person that don't believe in pro-choice. I don't give a fuck about this shit. But that child still should have a life. You made the decision to fuck. Either the condom broke, you didn't take your birth control, or you took the risk, pay the piper. You can't blame that kid for you. And if you don't want to, give it to somebody. And then if you say, what if they end up in a bad situation, still living? Fuck, everybody has problems. We all do. Life is a problem if you're not rich, and if you're rich, then feelings is a problem because you feel like nobody around you loves you. That's what rich people go through. They kids, and they become Satanists. I'm not talking some Illuminati. I'm just saying they do shit that they don't give a fuck because they don't have no reserve because they never had to answer to nobody. If your ass did it, you'd go to jail. They might get a slap on the wrist. Like that kid who said his defense that white boy killed all those people in the drunk driving, running them over. He was like, the excuse is he's privileged. I can't remember the exact term, but they tried to make that like that's a psychosis, like a mental problem, saying if you're a privileged person, you don't understand what the fuck you're doing. Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit don't even make sense. That has nothing to do with knowing human being and loving life. So if I'm rich, I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's what they're letting you know. Please. If that would have been a black, white, a black, Hispanic, even a poor white kid, Mexican, whatever, they'd throw them under the jail, even if there was a minor when they did it. They was going to do at least 10, 20 years. So let's just be real. Let's talk real shit. Let's talk real shit. That's all I'm saying, man. Let's talk real shit. Let's talk real shit. That's the shit that doesn't make sense to me. That's the shit that like you look at it and you're just thinking like, hey man, this shit ain't even right, man. This shit ain't even right. But life is the way it is. And you have to go about it. Either you change the system and you're accustomed to, whatever fuck. Then you can do whatever you need to do for yourself. You have to live. And I'm just saying what I feel. Fuck if you respect it or don't like it. It is what it is. That's all I got to say.